All right. What's going on? We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Um, yeah, man. I kind of want to get used to getting in rhythm doing these live streams. Kind of the day after or right after game. So, um, kind of my setup would be the Lions game. If I don't go live during the game, um, then I'll probably go live probably Monday. I do a reaction video. Even if I go live during the game, I do the reaction video, and then we do a live discussion Monday. And then obviously we do the previews, probably game preview, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, and then do the week. I do the updates, injury updates or stuff of that nature. Almighty Rob, salute. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Tried to stream on Twitter. I'm still figuring out a few bugs on there as well, and Facebook. So eventually, I'll be streaming on Facebook and Twitter. Addition to this, so all at the same time. Sean, salute. Jay White, what's going on? Let's talk about last night. Obviously we know Matthew Stafford didn't play. He entered his 11th year. I think he like 31 years old, whatever the hell he is. And Matt Patricia said that he didn't play because he got a lot of reps with the Houston Texans. So eventually I tackle that, but he didn't play last night. Who else? Obviously the big fellas didn't play up there. Daniel still, they still checking on Daniel's foot. Harrison still working his way back. Trey Flowers shoulder. Kennard played a little bit. Robinson played a little bit. Romeo Rockwell played a little bit. Um, Reeves Maben, I think he playing for his job. He played well yesterday. He responded. Killebrew made some plays yesterday. I'll get to Talani. Agnew, I think he played last night. Rookie Amani Rockley, I think he a long way from playing. Rashad Melvin played last night. Darius Slay played last night. Diggs played last night. Andrew Adams played last night. Just thinking, and I was trying to finish that up so I can catch a UFC 241. Um, but just looking at it, people I was impressed with last night started with Jelani Tavai. I mean, if you know the game, Talani is taking on, offensive linemen the way you should. And he's engaging blockers, shedding blockers, great form tackler so far. Um, and, he playing with a lot of instincts, he real smooth. I just like to see him a little bit more in coverage. But I think it makes more sense to start him at the starting linebacker position. I mean, the middle linebacker position. They was in the 3-4 front a few times last night, so they easy could shift. I mean, they got so many different personnel that they could shift in a 3-4. I mean, Kennard plays the middle. Christian Jones plays the middle linebacker. Nick Fangio defense in Chicago. Jerry Davis could play middle. So him and Talani actually could play together in the base 3-4 defense. But Talani looked good. You know what I'm saying? Um, he just looked good. I see exactly where they. He just looked real good. I just like the way he playing the game. Man, he physical. Um, he ain't like a super twitchy athlete, but you don't have to be a super twitchy athlete when you got technique. And he just like they didn't have to play him no more. You know what I'm saying? Just you can say him for the regular season, but Davis didn't play last night, and it may pretty much boil down from Davis being a situational linebacker as far as blitzer, playing outside, just where we need him at. But his days may be numbered if he don't show up this year. But they expecting big things from him this year. But Reese Maven played pretty good. To me, he just seemed more his role in the NFL gonna be a depth guy. You know what I'm saying? He gonna back up some people. He'll be able to start a handful of games for you. But Jalen Reese Maven, he ain't gonna be no Derek Brooks, Levante David, uh, down there in Tampa. He's just not gonna be that type of cover two linebacker or coverage linebacker, Tampa two linebacker they looking for. At the end of the day, he a good depth guy. I don't even think he'd be like a Justin Durant type that we had here in Detroit. I just don't really see it. That's just my personal opinion. Uh, but I think Talai is going to be like the tackling Dutchman was for Dallas last year. I think he got an opportunity if he able to stay healthy to show a lot of people up. And now it seemed to be a good pick, but you never know. he ended up getting injured, or maybe he just looking good versus subpar competition. But what I seen, I think he got good tackling for him. He know how to attack the blockers, the lead blockers, the offensive linemen. And Davis, if you watch Davis play, especially a lot, just in general, early in his career, to up to when he played last, Davis is a lot on the floor. He's a ton on the ground, and that's not a good thing for a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Cool for a corner to do shoestring tackles, and but your linebackers, you need them to set the tone and be able to be good form tacklers and not just be good shoestring tacklers. And Davis just find himself whiffing on the floor a lot, and a lot of that got to do with harnessing his speed and just learning technique. If he just slowed down a little bit, and I think he'd be a more dangerous threat at the linebacker position. But um, other than that, nobody bounced off. Nobody jumped off to me on the defensive line. They had the one kid they brought in. What's his name? Jones, the big fella. I think Chris Spielman thought that was I can't remember who he thought it was. He thought it was one of the other guys, but he got a penetration. He penetrated and he just looked slow coming up the middle last night in the fourth quarter. But Arakwa, I know what he gonna bring. Um, he got the fumble last night. He ain't got to prove nothing. Robinson is what he is at this point. I just don't have no faith in Ashawn Robinson really to come in and be a difference maker. He a good depth guy, but I just don't really see him being like Nanada was, or even Ndamukong Suh, even the Corey Peters. Was it Corey Peters? Big fella that played. I get his name wrong. Big fella that played with Sean Rogers. What's his name? Corey Sims. I can't remember his name. Big fella. I don't even see him being like him. But I could be wrong. But anybody else that jumped out to me? Oh, Will Harris. He made some plays last night. Safety out of Boston College. You won't see a lot of him. He'd be more special teams guy. He'd be more special teams. But Corey Redden, not Corey Redden, the other one, man, the big fella, not the Corey. What's the big fella name? I always forget his name. He played with Sean Rogers. Shit, I'm thinking of his face. Big fella that played with Sean Rogers. His name ain't even Corey. Man, I can't remember that dude's name. Y'all, what's the big fella's name, man? Can't remember his name, man. He had the little beard cut, and he was solid. He was solid for us, man. I think he might have went to Cleveland too. Can't really remember, but it is what it is. But Andrew Adams, he making plays out there. I think a lot of us like Andrew Adams. I think he got a few picks last year for Tampa Bay, and Andrew Adams is a ball hawk. So, the Lions like to run three safeties. You see Walker, Diggs, Andrew Adams out there. I think, hopefully I'm saying his name right, but Andrew Adams will play. He always run the ball. He had a pick last night. He kind of dropped it, then recaught it. So if you got a guy back there that's able to be just a ball hawk, you can put that guy. He can survey the not Nick Fairley. I'm gonna look his name up, man. Now y'all bother me. I know Nick Fairley. I'm gonna look his name up. I'm trying to see when he was with the. Hold on. Look his name up. See if I can find his name. His name might be cool. What's the dude? This dude's name, man. Let me try to find him. See if I can find him. See if I can find this dude's name. Well, Corey Red and then Rickerson. I'm gonna find this dude's name. Now I'm hell bent on finding it. I can't remember this dude's name. It wasn't Corey Red. Hold on. It wasn't Corey Red though. But yeah, man. As far as Andrew Adams, I liked him a lot. Man. Even in Tampa, he was a depth guy. I think he ended up getting injured in Tampa, but he was more of a depth guy in Tampa. But in Tampa, he led the lead in picks, or he was up in the leader in picks, man. And when you got a guy that just got a nose around for the football, I think you got something special. So Andrew Adams, he may not, come here and be really good for us, but I think he's gonna contribute. What up, Jerry? I see you. I think he's gonna contribute. he might end up starting at safety, man, if he just keep being around the football. Adams, he did that last year with the I can't remember that dude's name. I can't even find it. That's crazy. I'm thinking of it. His face is in my. It wasn't Corey Ray. What's this dude name? I can't think of this dude's name, man. That shit crazy. It's fucking with me now. That's fucking with me. Let me try. Try another year. Y'all got me thinking. But he said, let's talk about how bad Justin Coleman been this off season. Uh, I mean, yeah, he getting it. I don't know. I thought he was supposed to be a system fit, and in the nickel. I was wondering how much money. I know how much money he got, but I was wondering what they seen because a lot of analysts, I didn't know about him. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't know about the guy, and excuse my ignorance to him in Seattle, but the analysts were saying, that's a lot of money to play a guy that Corey Smith was his name. Was it? Was it Corey Smith? It might have been Corey Smith. Could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. No, it wasn't that motherfucker. No, it wasn't. I can't remember this guy's name, but it is what it is. I'm gonna let it go for right now. But Justin Coleman, I ain't know shit about him. They paid him all that money, and it's hard to play the nickel, man. And when you play a nickel that much money, he better be good. But we'll see. Right now, a lot of things vanilla, and also the corners are gonna get exposed in preseason too. It's because they don't have a pass rush up front. You know what I'm saying? Right now, everything's probably base coverage. You're probably not doing a lot of exotic blitzes. You're not doing a lot of combo coverage. So right now, basically, you rushing four, and you ask your corners to just play man underneath and zone over the top, or you asking them to play, zone coverage, base, probably base cover 2, cover 3, base cover 4. You might be doing some stunts up front. So you got to remember the front end and the back end, it works together. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to generate pressure, a lot of the times you make Richard Sherman look better. You make Deion Sanders look better. But can a corner, not in this league today, but you can't really beat up the receiver down the field where it's a 5-yard and press, it's a 5-yard chuck rule with the press. It's hard. So if you're not generating no pass rush, of course Justin Coleman gonna look bad. Of course the rest of those guys gonna look bad. If that quarterback is able to hit the 1, 2, 3, three on the 3-step drop, or hit the 5 in the hitch or 7-step drop, and he able to really look around and survey the field, can't no corner cover forever. Can't no defensive backfield, no matter how Hall of Fame it is, cover forever. You know what I'm saying? If the quarterback is able to improvise, or they went against Deshaun Watson and Joe Webb yesterday, and they able to get on the edge, or they ain't getting no pressure, anybody can drop the ball in the bucket when ain't no pressure. So we'll see. So if they real pass rush get on the field week 1 versus Arizona Cardinals, and they get out there with Flowers and Kennard and Harrison, excuse me, and they get out there with Daniels, and they get out there with a Walker field full time, we'll see what Kyler Murray is able to do. But you can't ask nobody to cover forever. You know what I'm saying? Just can't do it. So that front end and back end, it works together. So we'll see. Will Harris and that DB from Penn State are showing some promise. Yeah, it takes time. Will Harris probably won't get no playing time this year unless some injuries happen. I wouldn't really depend on him, but on special teams. But eventually, he got a lot of speed and he can hit. Eventually, he'll get in there. Salute, Jay White. Appreciate it. He said the score was definitely a lot better. Yeah. When David Fales came in, but a lot of people jumped on Josh Johnson because he looked so bad, but he only been with the team for a week. It's safe to say dude took Davis' job in middle linebacker. Yeah, but in 3-4, they can run 2 linebackers in the middle. I'm mad they have been sitting Stafford. They said he got enough work, Bashar. They say he got enough work in practice. To me, I think he's still either his back still injured or that arm that got injured. He gonna be so rusty. We'll see in the 3rd preseason game, but they've been getting a lot of joint practices. And obviously it's different. And I explained that in my video I just did is that the speed, you can't hit the quarterback. So at the end of the day, you can probably put a hand on him, in 7-on-7s or in eight drills, but he is going to be rusty with his timing. But we'll see next week. I think if Stafford don't come out there and look sharp next week, if he don't lead them up and down the field, it's going to be a lot of question marks going into that pick'em game with the Arizona Cardinals because that's what it is. When that game was first announced, I don't know where it is now, but that game was a pick'em game. It was just straight 50-50. How many receivers you think going to make the roster? So you're going to have Amendola, Jones, Galladay. Um, it might do Powell. They be holding Powell. I think Powell deserves at least a fourth receiver role. I think he need to kind of get in on some slot too. With Amendola, he'll go down and miss some games. That's just his nature. Fogham looked pretty good last night. He got a catch. Then you got the Andy guy. So I don't know. It's probably gonna be 5. They probably keep 4 or 5. Depends on what they planning on doing. They might keep another receiver. They might say 4 receivers and keep 3 tight ends and say, you know what, or even more tight ends and say, well, if worst case scenario, we can put Jesse James and T.J. Hockenson at the receiver position. So I'm gonna say they're gonna probably put carry four or 5 receivers. I'm gonna say they probably carry 5 receivers and maybe 2 or 3 tight ends. Our zone coverage needs work. Too many deep plays where the cornerbacks were beaten by the peeking in the backfield. Yep. I mean, Tavai, he bit on the play fake and it went right over the middle. I think Joe Webb was the quarterback when that happened. That just comes with preparation. You know what I'm saying? That comes with just learning. Um, especially with the run pass options coming from college, that's going to be huge this year. Those are going to be abused, and it's going to work for them, and then it's not going to work for them a lot of the time. So, run pass options, man, we've been running them through quite a few offenses, man. It's not a huge thing part of the thing that the Lions do, but they've been running them. Stafford can always build their run play, and then if the corner's playing off, he throw that slant screen to Calvin. They go back for years. But now they really, it's really popularizing because that's what's hot in college now. NFL, this was copying college, and it used to be college copying NFL. He says a new offense. Big Mike he said our Ed White said our running backs are legit. We'll see come the season. It looked good. I like the other guy they had. I can't remember his name. He looked pretty good. He scored the touchdown last night. He had that nice little jump cut. It's a new offense though, and Fields could have been better if we had guys that could catch the ball late in the game. Could have stat wise, but I don't think nobody in this chat room or no Detroit Lions fans is counting on the Lacey, the Jones, the Foghams to save our season single handedly. I don't think nobody counting on them just to keep it 100. I think then if you go out there and Fogham or one of the Brandon Powell or some of the other receivers, we need them like the end of last year. Then I think we start panicking. But Marvin Jones, he's still rehabbing his knee. Who else you got out there? That's Amendola. He out for whatever reason he out for, and we know Kenny G gonna be ready because he's trying to get that paper. So I just think it's gonna boil down to. I'm not really worried. I think we look better, more prepared than we did last preseason in the game 2, and then we looked last year in game 2. So it is what it is. Stat wise, he said Aaron Troy said I'm not a fan of joint practices. If you ain't gonna play them this year, I don't have a problem with them. You're not playing New England. You're not playing Houston, 2 AFC teams. Then you got Cleveland coming up. Who else the last? Cleveland and Buffalo. It sounds like you got all AFC teams. I don't think we play Cleveland or Buffalo this year, if I'm correct. So I'm a fan of it. You need different looks. You know what I'm saying? Um, at the end of the day, I remember back in the day, you would hear about all the Lions offenses tearing it up in camp. And then come regular season, they beating up on an on 16 defense, or they beating up on a bottom ranked defense. So they give you opportunity to really test to see how good you is. I'm a fan of it. Long as everything clean and you don't get no dirty plays. Because if you smoking your defender, you know what I'm saying, your defense. What if your defense trash? But if you going out there smoking, complete guys like J.J. Watt and you proven guys, you out there smoking Jonathan Joseph, you out there smoking like Stephon Gilmore, you getting different looks. I'm a fan of it. You need different looks. Even if it's the Super Bowl or it's preseason. So I don't have a problem with it as long as it don't get dirty or it don't get malicious. It don't really bother me. The whole thing with enough reps is BS because he had his best season when he played all 4 preseason games. Could be, you know. Maybe they don't plan on throwing the ball a ton this year. Man, maybe it's really plain and simple. It's run the ball and it's simple corner routes, simple post routes, simple double moves, post corners, and it's simple in routes, simple deep in routes, simple out routes, comeback routes. Maybe it's gonna be heavy run, or maybe they don't want to show their hand. So, quite frankly, they can't afford no excuses. Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, Martha Ford came out this week, and maybe I'll do a video on this saying that she won a Super Bowl before she hit that upper room. Um, how close are we? I really don't know. But the NFC is wide. The NFL is wide open. I don't see no dominant team. I mean, Eagles look dominant on paper. The Patriots getting older. Without Gronkowski, you defend them a whole different way. Especially if Josh Gordon don't come back and be the Josh Gordon that he once was in Cleveland. So, who really scaring you? Drew Brees. He got his arm is dying and dying. What all they did last year was run the ball, throw to the flats, and throw to Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do nothing that was great. What you want to make Drew Brees do is throw the ball outside the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Take away the inside, and you know, and pretty much hopefully you get Alvin Kamara and you get him with the ball in his hand and you can tackle him and get him on the ground. But I would force him to bang that ball up the middle this year. I would take away the flats, the tackle runs, and I would double Michael Thomas and somebody else beat me. I would force Drew Brees with that water pistol arm he got now to throw outside the numbers. But I mean, I don't see nobody that's done the Rams. It just feel like they're gonna take a step back. It just feel like Todd Gurley not what he used to be. Dallas Cowboys. I think they're gonna sign Zeke, so they'll be there. They scary with Zeke and they got a daunting defense and Cooper he playing for the bread and Dak is formidable. And Dallas is solid. If they healthy and everybody happy and paid, they are a contender to come out the NFC. I hate to say it, but they are. But they don't seem like they that much better than us. But other than that, Atlanta they creepy. They kind of creeping and they got so many weapons. Just their quarterback just seemed just to be a failure. But Atlanta they pretty solid. Green Bay you got 12 back there. You always got a chance, but it just seemed like at 35 years old, we seen the best of Aaron Rodgers. And at the end of the day, I mean, just nobody really scare you over there with Devontae Adams. But when you got Aaron Rodgers back there, that's solid. Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, Mike Zimmer job on the line, so they got something to prove. They got two. I think they got the best tandem in the NFL as far as receiver with Thielen and Diggs. That's been proven. But really, Minnesota just with Kirk Cousins, it's not really scary. Chicago, that defense is real scary. They lost a few people with Khalil and Floyd hit Leonard Floyd and Akeem Spence and Eddie Jackson, Prince Mukamara, Fuller. They're real solid, but really, how good is Trubisky? So, injuries can happen. You're gonna see injuries happen. So, to me, anything can happen on any given Sunday, man. But how it's laying off the Lions before I finish the preseason is it's laying out pretty good. I say that part, but somebody has something. I'm afraid that the defense are going to catch on to our offense quickly. Big Mike, what's good? Your best. I have a funny feeling that the tight ends might be used more than ever. I think so. That's why you draft two and you bring another one in, pay him $28 million and Jesse James. But I don't fear them catching on to the offense early. I just not fear because the offense should be basic. Should be run the ball, play action, go over the top. And then Stafford has already done everything else in his career: 3 steps, slants, 5 steps, out routes, comeback routes. So I think it's probably gonna have some West Coast principles to it, but I mean I don't think catching on to the offense is. I don't think it's nothing. It's a pro style offense. It's probably got West Coast principles in it, so it's about personnel. It's about accuracy. It's about being on the same accord. For the Lions, most importantly, it's about preserving Matthew Stafford and running the ball, which they need to run the ball a lot. So we'll see with Anderson. We'll see with Carryon and Zenner. Seem like he still got more of a burst in his step than C.J. Anderson, but we'll see. We'll see. But But as far as just finishing up on preseason, I did the defense. Like I said, to recap the defense, I love Tavai. I love Andrew Adams. Those two guys, I think, is going to contribute real soon. Offensively, Hawkinson looked good, man. He do. Just he had the little penalty with the little chop block that wasn't, but still got called a chop block. I guess you can't attempt to do a chop block, even if you attempt and don't hit. But he just looked good. He sealed the block. It seemed like they was doing a counter run play, and he came back across the formation and he sealed. I can't remember the exact play, but he sealed the block. He got enough of the defender and got the defender on the ground. So you could just see the difference in him and Ebron. He blocking at the point of attack. He looks smoother coming in and out of breaks. I think he's more athletic and more lively in his twitch and his legs than people give him credit for. And I'm excited. I'm excited for him. Josh Johnson, he been here a week. I know he's been with 13 different teams, and I guess people expect him to master every offense since being in the NFL. But he's been here 13 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a week. So I'll give him time. But if it boiled down to the backup quarterback position, I would say we pretty much in a little bit of trouble. But other than that other running back, I liked him a lot too. I'm gonna look his name up. I liked him a ton. He's a really good little running back. I think if nobody pick him up, he should definitely be on the practice squad. No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you his name right now. Um, Mark Thompson. Yep, Mark Thompson. I liked him. He had a 5 carry for 25 yards last night. Um, but at the end of the day, you gotta remember David Phelps was going against more third and second stringers, more third and second, and Josh Johnson was seeing first and second and some third stringers. So we'll see, but it's hard to master, offense with receivers you don't know and offense that you don't know, still learning. So he had pretty much an impossible job to come in and look good um, Saturday. So I wouldn't read much into it, but I think they should have a package in there for Josh Johnson where he'd be able to use his mobility. Daryl Bevel has mobile quarterbacks before, had mobile quarterbacks before, Tavares Jackson and Russell Wilson most notably, but pretty much, man, that's pretty much it, man. I know Joe Dow got a couple penalties last night. I think it's going to be Kenny Wiggins at left guard. And the offensive line, it scares me. But if they run the ball a lot, I think that'll kind of cure it, man. But he said, I'm hoping they use Ty Johnson a lot this season. I probably wouldn't bank on that. Um, my problem with Daryl Bevel offense is that I don't really vividly remember him using the running backs in a receiving game, and maybe that's something that he'll do here. Marshawn and Adrian Peterson wasn't known to be huge pass catchers, in the way the NFL has gone since he's left with the Seattle Seahawks is Kamara, Barkley, even Zeke caught some passes yesterday. So let's see if he can catch up to the times and utilize Kerryon Johnson's ability to catch the ball out the backfield, and Tyler Johnson, if he got some ability to catch the ball out the backfield, he can utilize those attributes. So I think he's able to make that adjustment. He said, "Do you think we will have 2 or 3 quarterbacks?" Quite frankly, maybe 2. And if the third quarterback is David Fells, it'll be 2 on his roster and 1 on the practice squad. Nobody gonna pick up David Fells, um, so yeah. But if they find another good quarterback, or if Josh Johnson work and 21 Savage come back, they might carry 3. Knowing that Josh Johnson may get picked up by another squad because he know damn near a lot of different systems. This being his 13th team. Um, so yeah, we'll see. But next week should be very, very interesting. Let me see who we play because I got an idea. I think it's Buffalo. Yep, we play Buffalo at the crib for the third preseason game. Then we close it out in Cleveland, which they won't be playing their starters. They'll be ready for week 1 versus Tennessee Titans. Um, and we'll be getting ready for the Arizona Cardinals. That's a late game start. I might be in Cleveland for that Titans game. That's on. It's probably gonna be 9-8. So maybe I may go to that game with to watch the Browns and go to like the Cheesecake Factory in Cleveland and watch the Lions or the Buffalo Wild Wings. What are the chances that the Lions are interested in Clowney? I heard he wants a 5-year extension with 22 mil. 0. They still ain't played Harrison and they still ain't paid Darius Slay. I don't know what they thinking about there or what they told them, but other than that, about the Stafford situation, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you got fractures in your back, I mean, I don't think that's, maybe they be, hairline or not that major. I just don't think Stafford got another. They gave him enough rest, and I felt they should have gave Matthew Stafford rest. I felt that they should have shut him down the last month and a half last year and let him heal. And but at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. It ain't my job that's on the line. It's Matt Patricia's job on the line. It's Bob Quinn's job on the line. And at the end of the day, you don't know who job it is, or who say so it is, and say, hey, Martha, we want to get another quarterback, or hey, Rod, we want to get another quarterback, and they might be like, well, we don't think we need another quarterback, or we don't want to spend that money on that quarterback. So you don't know. It may not necessarily be Bob Quinn, such a thing to do. So a lot of the times, it be the owners or other people in the building that want particular players. So, in my opinion, I felt they should have picked up Osweiler. At least he was formidable. He had a good performance versus the Lions last year in Miami. But it's concerning when you hear about your quarterback not throwing for a week. Oh, he want load management. I mean, he was entering double-digit seasons last year. Why didn't he get load management? And he was familiar with the system Jim Bob Cooter was doing. Now you telling me he need load management in a brand new system with Darrell Bevel? You know what I'm saying? That it just, to me, it reeks of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It really do. It reeks of a lot of malarkey. It reeks of a lot of it just don't smell right. You know what I'm saying? And if he don't play the third preseason game, I think a lot of people antennas will be raised. If he play the third season game and play a serious out, I'm concerned. In my opinion, he needs to play into the third quarter. Leave run drive in the third quarter for me not to be concerned. But really, if you lay it out, Arizona missing two of their starting cornerbacks. Um, um, Chargers missing their best defensive player, in my opinion, and Derwin James. He'll be out. He had an injury or something, the foot, whatever injury it was. I think he may be, one of the best safety in the NFL, damn near already. Derwin James on Florida State, and obviously they're missing not Marvin, but Melvin Gordon, and they already Keenan Allen hasn't practiced all year. I think he had a foot injury. So, and usually when the Chargers come east from west, they don't. West Coast teams usually don't do well coming to the East Coast, the Eastern time. So that's something to look at. So really, it's said no. The Lions should be 2-0. And if they not 2-0, then they easily could be 0-5. You playing the Chargers. I mean, you playing the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Eagles in Philly, which Carson Wentz can easily be hurt. He's a China dog. Then you playing at home versus Kansas City, which they can run it up real quick. They're a really good offense, and Tyreek Hill won't be suspended, and Travis Kelce's a dog, and my homeboy is that guy. Bye week, and then you play Green Bay. Okay, so those first two games can give a lot of traction. You know what I'm saying? Then going to Philly, you don't have to go to Philly and play another snowball like in 2013. Uh, so we'll see. I think that running game is going to be vital if Stafford is really not 100%. And everybody kind of glossing over it, but I said it last year about Marvin Jones. I said, man, Marvin Jones hurt his knee in camp. And when I seen him, I was at the Jets game. When I seen him go live at the Jets game, and Stafford was missing him, and he wasn't running this, I said he's still hurt. And they finally shut him down in the season. And like I said before, this just smells of some bullshit right here from Matthew Stafford. It do in the team, in my opinion. He said, okay. Offset said, please do a breakdown of Juwan Howard's recruiting. I heard he gave his son a scholarship, so I'm not familiar with that. And I know he offered a few other guys. He got some competition because Penny Hardaway is killing the game in recruiting. So I had to do some research. But Penny Hardaway is doing really, really good in Memphis. And Jerry Stackhouse has entered Vanderbilt. So colleges is giving minorities or black coaches in general a chance that the NFL not. I'm not the NFL, but the NBA not. Patrick Ewing waited his turn for years. He got a job with Georgetown, and he got to rebuild that brand back up. Jerry Stackhouse, they opened up the budget in Vanderbilt for Jerry Stackhouse to come here. He had won the G League championship, I think, or been in two or won two or something like that. Penny Hardaway, him, Mike Miller, Sam Mitchell, all down there coaching, and then Juwan Howard in Michigan. So I'm proud. I'm proud that college is doing that way. I'm proud that they amended the Rich Paul rule, which was total malarkey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And Michigan State need to burn down their whole athletic department. And I don't say that from a Michigan standpoint of view, fan standpoint. I say that from a parent standpoint of view. You know, they need to fire D'Antoni. You know, fire all of them that's in that Michigan football. Even if you have to get rid of Tom Izzo, he knew some things. I think it's time to rebuild. But since Michigan State, it ain't Alabama, it ain't USC, or it ain't Harvard, nothing like that. Nobody really gonna give a hell. So, which starting O lineman do you think is our weaker link? Which one or which ones? uh, Wiggins and Dow. I mean, if Taylor Decker don't get healthy, he can be in that category too. But he was really good his first year. Then the shoulder injury kind of threw him off. Rick Wagner getting blew back. I mean, really, you could be looking at 4 new offensive linemen next year. You know what I'm saying? Really, you could be looking at 4. They can be Decker don't show up this year. They don't have to pay him no more. Wagner in the contract year. Wiggins, Dow, he got 2-year extension, but he ain't gonna never start. And you could be looking at Graham Glasgow on the contract year. So you could be looking at 4 new offensive linemen next year. So that just lets you know how good Bob Quinn is at evaluating offensive linemen. He done struck out like 7 times. You know, Decker, it was the injury, but shit happened. So you would say Decker wasn't a good pickup if you don't pan back out. Wagner was a bad pickup. That's 2. TJ Lang make 3. Graham Glasgow, he drafted him, make 4. Joe Dow, I don't think he ever drafted him to pan out. And Kenny Williams, they just fucking suck. Okay, right now. We'll see. Maybe the offense will change with them being able to shoot off the ball and push people back in the run game. I still don't hold on. I still don't understand Aaron Choice, excuse me, why the Lions won't draft a developmental quarterback. It might be an organizational thing. You know, maybe something that Mark to say, no, Stafford is our guy, but I just don't get it either. They had Brad K out, by Felicia's son from Friday, and they cut him. Bob Quinn said at the end of last season that he wanted wanted a coach that can change play calling week to week and game in and game out. I think he meant then he hired Bevel. Then that's that's what he probably got. You want somebody like Josh McDaniels, Bill O'Brien. You want somebody that can take advantages of the weak spots. I'll keep the questions coming. I'll get to the Q&A. You want somebody that can take advantage of a defense's weakness from week to week. You want somebody that can exploit mismatches week to week and make week to week adjustments and in game adjustments. So maybe he sat down to Daryl Bevel and that's the guy that did it. Maybe it's not, are we running this and then we're going to run this to it work or we're going to make it work. No, you want somebody to say, okay, we're going to start this game plan this week and okay, they weaken the defensive tackles this week and they middle linebacker. They don't stop the run. You know what? We're going to run a ton up the middle and we're going to take advantage of them. So, yeah, I agree. That's something like what the Patriots do. Now, does it always work out that way week to week? No. There's some weeks that they think they got a great matchup with Gronkowski. Maybe the Jets come out there with a better game plan. They put Jamal Agnew on them. Not Jamal Agnew, but Jamal Adams on them. And then, it just don't work out that way. You can't always make in-game adjustments to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the other coaches got your number, So, yeah, you want somebody to be able to make week to week and install plays and install a game plan that's going to be successful against the team. You want a custom fit. You want a custom offensive coordinator. Just like you want to go to the suit and tailor place and get it, you want a custom suit. Nobody want an off-the-rack suit. Sometimes money funny. You got a funeral or a job interview to go to. You get an off-the-rack suit and you kind of make some adjustments. But really, if you got your choice, you want a tailor-made suit. And every week, you want a new tailor-made suit. And that's how you kind of look at it. Okay, where can we be successful at this year? And where can we draw a game plan up? Jim Bob Cooter just wasn't good at nothing. Jim Bob Cooter was just not qualified to be an offensive coordinator. He didn't know how to install plays. He didn't know situational football. He didn't know how to break tendencies. And he just didn't know how to be, successful running the ball or his passing offense. He was unqualified. It's like putting Donald Trump in office right now. Same thing with Jim Bob Cooter. You put Jim Bob, it's the same thing. You put Donald Trump in office and asked him to run a country and he had no political background. He's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? He just know business. You put Jim Bob Cooter as an offensive coordinator. You know what? He just know Madden. You know what I'm saying? He getting his plays off of Madden and drawing them in the sand. You know what I'm saying? Same shit. Don't have experience. Sometimes you can learn on the job and be successful. Other times you don't not be so successful. The Patriots cut a young quarterback last week. You know the Lions love shopping Patriots trash. I'm sure, I'm sure he reiterated that to Bevel with that point. Um, I don't even think he reiterated that. You know, sometimes you let somebody come in and you interview them, you ask them a couple questions, and then and if you got to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? uh, what about week to week? Sometimes you need to answer the question before it's answered when they give you opportunity to talk in the interview. And basically, like, what are you going to bring to our company? And you want to be able to cover as much as possible so they don't have to ask you questions. That's how you know you hit an interview at the park. If they don't have no questions really to answer you able to answer those questions before they get to those questions and kind of give them insight in your experience and how you handle this different situations. And they be like, well, we have nothing else to say. Yeah, you did a good job. Some things is that's just already you need to know. And I think hopefully that was one of those things for Darrell Bevel. A lot of people felt like they settled for Darrell Bevel because so many other offensive coordinators came in and went out without it went elsewhere. So we'll see. Edward Smith fans are eternally optimistic. I can't think of a single position group that the Lions have might have the upper hand. I think that's what he meant. I need to see tight ends play first. We can't hope for regression from the other teams. The position group. What about the receiver group? Amendola, Jones, Galladay. They look solid on paper. I mean, the running back group, they look solid. Speed guy, Tyler Johnson, kind of a power guy, Zach Zenner with a little bit of quick feet. C.J. Anderson, Kerryon Johnson look pretty good. Um, Defensive line, Flowers, Hand, when he come back, Harrison, Daniels, Kennard, Arakwa, Robinson in the backup. So I see a few position groups that look promising. If Talani is able to come in and assert himself, I mean, you put Talani there and him and Davis can play together, even if they're in 3-4 and 4-3. So kind of disagree. I see some groups that I really, really like. Groups that I don't really like is probably the second cornerback position. I just don't trust Rashad Melvin, but we'll see. Some of the linebackers, I don't like, but I can see it working because now I see Talani can play. The safeties, I think it's a work in progress, but Diggs is a good leader. Tavon Wilson, is he still with us? I believe. And Tracy Walker is good. Offensive line scares me a lot, especially with Stafford already had injuries. But I see promise, and I believe in Hawkinson. I know what Jesse James can bring to the table from Pittsburgh. I watched a ton of his game, so yeah, I'm not as down and gloomy as you are, but I'm not definitely the SpongeBob yellow optimistic. Ed White and say, which game would surprise you if the Lions win? None of them. The Lions win games they're not supposed to. Really. The one that I don't see them winning is kind of your question is probably Kansas City. Kansas City, my guy called him. I'm gonna have to hit him right back. Probably Kansas City is the game that I would be surprised. I'm gonna go to that game, but that's probably the game I'll be like, yeah. I think they can go to Philly and win. Carson Wentz got to get back in sync. Do you see any dominating matchup players on the Lions roster? Dominating match? Oh yeah, Flowers. They paid him to be dominant. Harrison, Hand, I think could be dominant down and up the defensive line. Daniels have been dominant if he's to get his foot back in order. Quadre, he can set the tone and be dominant with his hitting and his playmaking ability. Darius Slay can be dominant at times. We've seen in the Philly game, he made big plays. He got big picks. Arizona game, Stafford, they paying him all that money. He got to be dominant. I think Hawkinson can be dominant. Just looking at his ability on paper and what he did in college. Galladay can be dominant. Jones can be dominant down the field, stretching the field. So they have some dominant matchups. Kerryon Johnson, another guy that can be dominant. They got the matchups. They got the players. It's just, can they be dominant on a regular basis? And when they not dominant, can somebody else pick up the slack? That's what it's about. Can you pick up the slack or you cannot pick up the slack? We can't all not be dominant on 1 week. Somebody got to pick up. And for Stafford, he got to be the most consistent being dominant in whatever he's doing. May it be dominant in the red zone, dominant on the deep ball, dominant just being the field general. That's just what it boiled down to. But they have players that can be dominant for short periods of time or for games. But really, it's the ones that's dominant like Randy Moss in his rookie year, or dominant like Jerry Rice, or dominant like Barry Sanders, week in and week out. It's about consistency. The Pistons got players that could be dominant. Andre Drummond could be dominant, but it's once in a yellow moon. You got Blake Griffin. He could be dominant. It's just, can he be dominant the whole year and not get hurt? Derrick Rose could be dominant here and there, but what separates Andre Drummond from a Shaquille O'Neal from back in the day is Shaquille O'Neal was dominant almost every night. It's about consistency. That's the one of the biggest thing. Can you be consistent? Which can you? I want to know when I go out to Slows down on Michigan Avenue, or when I go to my favorite Coney Island, or when I go to Dave and Buster's, when I go to the movie theater. I want it to be consistent. I want the popcorn to be consistent. I want the food to be consistent. I want the floor to be clean. I want it to be clean. I want the atmosphere. If there's no smoking, there's no smoking. I want consistency. You know what I'm saying? Same as customer service, the same as the customer experience. As a football coach, if I put Trey Flowers and I tell him, here, look here, man, it's an important game. Important play. I need you to keep your right hand free. Do not let this joker get outside and break a chain. You know that you trust him to do so. If you don't trust him, you tell him, you already know, all right, this motherfucker gonna jump inside probably. So I'm gonna have this guy, I'm gonna have this safety come down and blitz off the edge to control that contain, because I already know how he be. So you learn to know your players. The question is, they better than the other teams in the North? Are the wideouts better than the Vikings? Is the front? It's not about. You can't do that. You can't do that, because if you say the wideouts better, what about the quarterback? What if Kirk Cousins not playing good? You know what I'm saying? What about what if the Vikings front four is good, but the linebackers not making plays? You can't break it down and say, oh, this was, it's as a defense. It's as an entire offense. It's an entire defense. It's a defense playing good. It's an offense playing good. You can't separate it into position groups. It just don't work that way. Because your D-line could be the shit, but your linebackers make your D-line look bad because they suck. Your front seven could be the shit, but you don't have no DBs. That was the drop on the Lions for years. Front seven, beastie. Back end was terrible. Aaron Berry, Bill Bentley, can't do that. That's what fans need to notice, is that all of it worked together. In a way, everything worked together. Your punter punt the ball off, right? If he get a shitty punt, then it put the defense in a messed up bind. Now the offense at the 50, the other opposing offense at the 50, now the defense can't make no mistakes. They're not playing with no cushion. You know what I'm saying? The defense get off the field, you know what I'm saying? And the offense get the ball back, and they punt the ball from the 50, and they get a 3 and out, and they punt it, and they get stuck on the 5-yard line. The offense fumble the ball, knocks on the 1 yard, and they put the defense in the bind. So in a way, every position, group, every side of the ball work. Special teams help offense help defense, and defense help special teams. You can't break it down into, their receivers better, our receivers better. You can have better receivers. You got Julio, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, but if you got Rico at your quarterback, your Uncle Rico at your quarterback, then how good is your receivers? See, that's how you can't look at it like a video game aspect. You got to look at it as a team. You said a team? The team? Ain't no team. Your white buddies haven't blocked for Rev not once. I love the Titans. Character reflect leadership. Hypothetically, if Stafford went down to injury week for 4 weeks, nope. I ain't gonna read it. Nope. I don't know. No confidence. It's over with. Scott Tolzien in Indianapolis close when Peyton Manning got injured. We looking at Justin Herbert or Tua, whoever the hot quarterback. I ain't got to finish reading that question. It's over. Just hope that Stafford gets some wins so we ain't go 0-16 again. Bob, she better fire Bob Quinn, unless it ain't his fault. It might not be his fault. I don't want to put any pressure on Stafford. Stafford's our guy. Stafford hasn't been injured in 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Stafford, it could be. I'm telling you, a lot of times y'all be thinking it'd be the GM fault. The GM be wanting to do stuff, and the owner or the president or the capologists don't want to do shit. That's what it really be boiled down. It don't necessarily be the fucking team to be the general manager all the time. Antonio Bowler says, speak on the Lions' offensive woes. I noticed how the Lions have historically, he has a history of struggling to score against good defenses, and this pattern has been going on. I think for years he said, I think that will not change. Um, okay, they got a new offensive coordinator. What you also want me to say? You answered your own question. You said it won't change. It ain't that they just never been able to punch it in the end zone. That's why Jason Hanson like the all time team leading scorer. I think that's what it boiled down to. Red zone execution. We had Mike Marks. We was marching up and down the field like we was kings and queens, but we could never put the ball in the end zone. That ain't never been a problem with the Lions getting up and down the field, at least under Mike Marks. That problem was putting the ball in the end zone. If we can get up and down the field and mark, it was just end zone execution. But you asked your own question. I don't know what's gonna change and what's not gonna change. If they able to run the ball and it makes Stafford's job easier, if they able to run the ball and Stafford turn the ball over, it's gonna be excuses. They love to make excuses for Stafford. That's just the way it is. If that happens, it's over. Cake been baked and cake been baked. Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Famer with doo-doo at quarterback. One can be a dominant. One player can dominate? No, they can't. No, they can't. No, they can't. He had Kurt Warner. He made Super Bowl. He did have Matt Leinart and shit. No, he can't. You could be dominant, but you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win at all. And people don't even remember Randy Moss in Oakland. He had a few 1,000-yard seasons in Oakland too. People don't remember him. He went to Minnesota and went away. It's not gonna work. I'm telling you. It's not. All of them work together. However you looking at this from a Madden standpoint of view, it's just not fucking gonna work. You're not going to win without a quarterback. A receiver can't be good. Can't be and winning without a quarterback. Can't. DeAndre Hopkins catching all them balls down there, and guess what? Nobody noticed that shit. Because why? Because 21 Savage was a quarterback. Nobody noticed DeAndre Hopkins down there, did they? And Watson got there, and then people said, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, no. Don't work that way. Quarterback is the most important position in sports. And Larry Fitzgerald is the third best receiver I've ever seen, period. Jerry Rice, T.O., Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss, and somebody else can have that fifth spot. That's just my opinion. What you think about Jay-Z move? Good for Jay. I think it's a method behind his madness. I'm not jumping on Jay-Z for doing what he did. That's what black people do. You know what I'm saying? We want to go to court and be innocent before proven guilty, but we jump on Jay. Jay guilty. He sold out. Let's see what he do. Let's see if it's a method to his madness. I ain't knocking him, man, because you could point out Muhammad Ali. You could point out Martin Luther King has some inconsistencies. The Nation of Islam. That's another conversation for another day. Let's see what Jay-Z do. Jay-Z owned the team and he signed Kaepernick or whatever. It is what it is. If Eric Reed feels so strong, why are you still playing in the NFL then? If the NFL is so anti-Kaepernick, hey, why don't you go sit next to him? That just seemed like crab in the bucket mentality. Let's give a dude a chance and let's see what's going on. Is it about curing social injustice, or is it about getting Kaepernick a job? And if it's about getting Kaepernick a job and Jay-Z, he want to bury his career and want to put money in his pockets, it's no different than what I've been seeing my whole life. I don't know who watched the Corey Holcomb 5150 show. It's real good. He said, I seen some of the most righteous brothers take the money. So it don't surprise me if Jay-Z take the money and do it after everything he been preaching. Everybody got a price. It seemed that way. Everybody got a price. People kill me if somebody came to you and gave you some of these women out here selling the hot box for $5. They selling the hot box for for a 6-piece snack. You know what I'm saying? And you want to cast a song because somebody selling out for $500 million, $100 million, $1 million, and you be the first one to take $1,000. So I don't be listening. Like once you get older, you know what I'm saying? Or once you get older, you don't listen to what other people say. Because they're not going to pay your rent. They're not going to feed your kids. They're not going to feed your dog. They're not going to fix your house up. All they're going to be there is at your funeral and say you was a good person. You know what I'm saying? Remember I think it was it Thanos? I think he said this shit or said about Thanos in the comic book. In somebody's story, you always going to be the bad guy. Or is it mem? Real talk. In somebody's story, Martin Luther King the bad guy. Somebody's story, Malcolm X the bad guy. In somebody's story, God is the bad guy. Somebody's story, Jesus is the bad guy. You can't please everybody. And once you figure that out, I think that's when you truly become um, a mature adult. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure that out, that what they eat don't make you shit, and I don't care what people think. I really don't. You know, at the end of the day, everybody got their own inconsistencies. Everybody got their downfalls. Everybody got problems. Everybody got it. Nobody perfect. So if that's what Jay wanted to do, and it was best for Jay Z and his family, it was bad for Kaepernick. So be it. I don't have an opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If he come and he signed Kaepernick, or his plan is able to develop, but I just know Jay Z be doing a lot of great things. You know, from documentaries, spending millions of dollars, and doing stuff for the black community. Hey, it is what it is. Take a lifetime to build a reputation, take a second to lose it, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna be patient, but it ain't gonna affect me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna affect me. You know what I'm saying? Kaepernick on the field, I want to see him, prosper on and off the field, whatever you got going on. But if Kaepernick don't take another snap in the NFL, they don't put no food on your boy table. You feel me? It don't change my life, but blessings to him, and hopefully everything work. I wish they kept it behind the scenes. Um, Pistons should sign John Wall. John Wall done for like 2 years, bro. They done. John Wall just signed a $41 million contract. He ruptured his Achilles, and he said he slipped at home and ruptured it again. So John Wall got the same injury Cousins got, KD got, that ended Isaiah Thomas' career. For those who don't know, that's ended Isaiah Thomas' career was the Achilles. You know what I'm saying? So John Wall, for a guy that's predicated on his speed and quickness, and not for his jump shot and his maybe his Tony Parker short game at the rim, it's the stupidest thing you can do. Stupidest thing you can do. So no, it's just DeRozan. Yeah, you got to pay him. I think DeRozan contract up this year, but for clout and for revenue, Russell Westbrook was the guy to get for clout and revenue. I didn't say basketball wise. If you're able to keep Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin, you put Russell Westbrook on this team, the Pistons have at least 12 to 15 primetime games. They on ESPN almost every night. They make a deep playoff run. They might be some black eyes in there. Might be some foots up somebody's butt. But you put Westbrook on there, and you mortgage your draft future for the next 5 or 10 years, and you take like 3 or 4 or 5 first round draft picks, you swap and give them to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you go for it. Now you may get it. Nobody in the East scares me. Giannis don't have a Westbrook, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. Shit, they trying to figure out who the second best player on the team. And I thought it could have been Brockton, and they was just too cheap not to pay him. that messed up. They were too cheap not to pay him. Boxing absolute. So man, I'm just saying I would have took that chance, and I would have probably got season tickets. I got the plug, but I'll be down there a lot more this year, man. Little Caesars a great arena. Andre Drummond is better starting center than any starting center in the NBA champs had in 2010s. It's not about him being a better starting center. It's about team. You know what I'm saying? It's a positionless league. You know what I'm saying? It's not he's the best starting center. No, it's a reason why he ain't no other starting center's been better than him, because they really didn't cut out the center. Now the centers are guys that's you see Miles Turner stretching out the 3-point lane. You seeing Karl-Anthony Towns stretching out the 3-point lane. If Andre Drummond truly want to be part of a championship caliber team and be a contributor for real, he got to learn to put his back to the basket. He ain't got to go out there and shoot a step back three. If you put Shaq in this NBA, Shaq will be dominant. Because playing through Shaq is gonna get you a 3-point attempts. But that's another story for another day, man. For real, it is, man. But yeah, that was a risk they should have took with Westbrook. But you know what? They didn't mortgage their future. That's the positive thing about it, because now they can go into, if next year don't work out, Drummond can be off the books, Reggie can be off the books. You can flip Blake Griffin, have all your draft picks, start off the 2020s, and prepare to make a championship run towards the end. So be interesting, man. Rebounds don't matter if you making shots. Well, yeah, you're right, but hey, the other team got offensive rebounds matter. Defense it do matter, but it's just rebounding is just not one of the critical points, like the big points for being $100 million player. you know, the name of the game is to put the ball in the hole, and then if it had a nickname, it's or last name, stop the ball from going in the hole. Those just the two main things. And Andre Drummond don't do neither one of them great or good in my opinion. I mean, he's still struggling to learn how to volleyball the ball back in the hole off a tip. But at the end of the day, he young. He's been improved. He improved everywhere he worked at. Free throw shooting and stuff of that nature. So he got a lot of potential. He just working on the wrong shit. Shaq never had to face double teams before he got the ball. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Crazy the motherfucker, man. Did you even watch basketball, dog? Motherfucker, Shaq had 8 niggas on him. The whole team was on Shaq. You crazy as fuck, man. Let me get out of here before I get disrespectful with my blueface voice, man. I'm about to get disrespectful before I pull out the mop on this nigga. I'm about to slide on this nigga. I'm about to slide on him. Jules Jefferson, I watch your channel every day. You the realest, bro. Keep you doing your thing. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Share the videos. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. Appreciate the love, support, man. I'm gonna get when the season starts. I'm gonna do a lot more live streams like this, especially when the Pistons start. The Lions. We're gonna do the Monday morning stream. I do the reaction videos and I do the videos during the week. So we're gonna have it nice and laid out. Other than that, man, check out my other channel for more music, entertainment, sports talk, MMA, boxing, NBA, NFL. It's Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate the love, support. Remember the name, Goodfellas Sports TV. And y'all know what it is, man. We gone.